Okay. I can see we've got about 17 people in already. We're just waiting for everybody to join in and we can start the session. So let's just give it a minute or two. Okay, Samir.
Sounds good.
So a few more people coming in, just give it some more time.
Okay.
See a few familiar faces coming in. Okay, I think let's start it from there. I just wanted to firstly welcome everybody. As mentioned earlier, I saw a few familiar faces, and also thank you for the new ones for joining. We have people joining today from Dubai, Algeria, Mauritius, and most of you here in South Africa. So thank you. Just kicking off today, we have two speakers that's speaking through today. Myself, Bremna, and then Samir, who's joining me from Oracle in Dubai, but is actually now in Algeria. And what you'll get out of today is an understanding of NetSuite and what Onro is. Onro, I'll explain a little bit later. And this is geared towards owners, finance, operations, and restaurant managers. But before that, just a little bit of housekeeping. The session is recorded, so can I please ask if you ask any questions, just put it into the chat box. Enjoy the session. So yeah, just kicking off today, we have Samir joining us all the way, as I said, from Algeria. He will be taking us through NetSuite ERP, and then I will take over and have a high-level conversation with regards to Onro. So Samir, over to you, buddy.
Thank you very much, Bremner, and good morning, everyone from the other side of the continent. Let me share my screen.
So,
All right. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen now like that.
we can see, thank you.
Fantastic. So thanks, Bremner, for the introduction. And I'm going to talk briefly today about NetSuite Advantage and what the platform of NetSuite entail and what it means for restaurant and hospitality businesses. And then we'll touch upon as well the AI in action. And we'll touch upon some practical automation of back office function for the industry. And then I wanted to touch upon a case study, an interesting one, a Domino Pizza franchisee, and how they transformed their operations when they moved from Sage to NetSuite. And then, of course, we leave the floor. You can put your questions in the chat, and I will be answering them after my talk track. All right, let's get started then. So what I wanted to say here is that restaurants have invested heavily in guest-facing technology, right? So over the past decades, they invested in POS, online ordering, loyalty programs, kiosk deliveries, delivery platforms, I mean. But while the front of the house it has evolved rapidly, many back offices are still running on disconnected finances, purchasing, inventories, and reporting. So, in fact, recent survey of more than 1,200 restaurant leaders found that nearly half don't have fully integrated operating system. So the consequence isn't simply more technology. It's more manual reconciliation. It's more spreadsheets and less confidence in numbers. And that's where they come and look into a way to connect and solve these problems. And then, especially across hospitality and restaurant groups, the core issue is the same: Finance, sales, inventory, purchasing often live in separate systems. So instead of one live view of the business, they spend weeks stitching together spreadsheets and reconciling numbers by hand. And that means every function keeps its own version of the truth, and decisions are made on the last month data rather than today's reality. So the opportunity is simple, right? Capture once at the source, then transact, reconcile, and then report from the back office. So that's where actually one unified and consolidated system comes to cover all the different aspects of your business, whether it is from CRM, if you are doing business to business, whether it is order to cash, so you are tracking the all orders and then the billing and then the collections and recognizing the revenue, whether it comes from the purchasing function as well, where we have the purchase orders, requisitions, receiving, and AP and payments. And then all of those get feed up to the general ledger. So that's where we get our financial reports. We manage the close, consolidation if you are in a multi-company environment or multi-location environment. So you can easily get a consolidation without doing any Excel works and pivot tables. There is also the item management, so where we manage the inventory, the costing, the fulfillment, the deliveries, etc., and any returns as well, along with the quality and the reporting that comes along with it, and the refunds and the credits. So as you can see here, we're covering the end-to-end back office functionalities all within one single system like NetSuite. And one important thing, especially if you are into multi-company environment, NetSuite pride itself as a multi-subsidiary system where you don't need to run a consolidation at the month end. Actually, you don't need to wait for the numbers at the month end. You just need to open your dashboard and you can see the consolidated numbers and you can drill to numbers as we will see later in the demonstration. So the consolidation is real time. And we have multi-book accounting. And I understand this is a very important topic where you need to do dual reporting. Maybe you want to report on local accounting standards, but also you wanted to do, let's say, comply with IFRS standards. So that's where we come up with the multi-book accounting that allows you to manage multiple dimensionalities of reporting, as well as multiple currency reportings too, with the ability to drill to source. And we'll see as well that later today as well. Now, there is one important thing when it comes to back office function, which is the flexibility of the system. You don't want to have like a ready-made. You always need to tweak a little bit the system. It's okay, you follow the best practice, but also the system needs to adjust to your business exceptions. So that's where it comes with the easy terms for the end users, whether they can personalize their dashboards, add some reminders, and do some search and custom search without the need to ask for IT help. And then there is the business analyst, or you can call it the ERP champion. He's not an IT, by the way, okay? So he can be anyone. He can easily in NetSuite create custom forms, add fields, customize, add new reports, or also you can make even workflow automation. Let's say you wanted to do some approval procedure per department and per amount and routing it accordingly per location, for instance, as well. So you can use the workflow, as we call it in NetSuite, Suite Flow, where you can manage all these automation in the system. Moreover, you can, if you have an IT department or your partners or your implementing partner can help you with modifying and tweaking NetSuite as well when it comes to advanced capabilities, especially when it comes to integration or some advanced customizations, you can easily build those. We do have as well our in-store applications that are available by our partners. It's pretty much plug and play, and they are pre-integrated with NetSuite, so you can as well leverage all of that. One important aspect here on the platform, yeah, as you can see, the platform is allowing us to do all of that. One important thing is you will be always in the latest release, as we release 2 upgrades per year, so you don't have to worry about the typical issue of ERP that you enjoy using for the first few years, and then you start becoming outdated. So you need to do an upgrade project and uplift everything you've done. You don't have to worry about that anymore in NetSuite, as it is always updating, and whatever customization you do, it will just keep running as you go along. Another aspect as well that I wanted to touch upon before we go to the next topic is security. So we take the security seriously, as NetSuite application is hosted in Oracle data center in OCI, which is the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, where we take security seriously, and we have all those certifications, and we do frequently the upgrades on the securities and patches as well on the database, on the application. And then we do as well have offer the users to do some additional restrictions. So you can implement in your company two-factor authentication, like the OTP, like the authenticator application. Or you can as well do the IP address restriction, where nobody can access NetSuite unless you are within the company network. So you could use your own VPN to do that, or work in the office only. Additionally to that, also, sometimes, the hackers can use social engineering. So they could use they could use like internal loopholes in order to access the data. So here you can easily in NetSuite as well implement roles and permissions. For example, somebody modified the vendor bank details. And generally, that's very, very interesting topics for hackers. So what you could do in NetSuite is you could say you have the access to all the vendor data, and you can only view the vendor details. If we give you access to amend the vendor bank details, someone else needs to approve that and get notified. So there is always that kind of segregation of duty that you can implement, especially as well when it comes to invoice payments and expense payments, etc. So all these things add a lot of security stronghold in your application and your data. All right. Now, without further ado, so I wanted to jump in and show you a bit of flavor about NetSuite and what it entails when it comes to global financials. So this is just an example here where I am coming into my NetSuite as a NetSuite application, and let me just load it. All right. So as you can see, I'm connected as a controller, and you could see here all the companies that we have configured in NetSuite. It's quite a lot, right? And we can define multiple hierarchies as well. These drive the consolidation. So if I open one subsidiary, you will notice the entire dashboard refresh and show me only the numbers related to that specific subsidiary. It's as simple as that. So now if I click, for example, that level, it's just consolidated already. So I don't need to run a consolidation or anything like that in order to get my KPIs, my financial reports. As if someone posts an invoice in France subsidiary, for instance, it will just show right away in my reports. So let me open up here the global income statement, for instance. That's actually the consolidated one. And you can see here the subsidiary context is showing the parents. So this is actually consolidated. Now what I can do as well here is I could look into the books. So we could have IFRS books, adjustment books, etc. So you could choose as well which book do I want to pick. So if I pick now, for instance, one subsidiary, I could look at it as well by accounting period. So here I selected from January to April. I'm able to see my income statement as well from January to April. And if I can run it as well. I want to see it by consolidated. So you could select here subsidiary context as parent, and the column I'm analyzing or slicing and dicing by subsidiary. You can see here the P&L is showing me here the totals by subsidiary. As simple as that. I could always drill down, and I could look into the names, the transactions, the documents, which subsidiary it's related to, and then the amount in the corresponding subsidiary currency, or using the consolidated currency as well. So we do have the flexibility when it comes to exchange rate that you want to use in your transactions, which is different from the exchange rate that you want to use for your consolidation. That's another example of balance sheet here. And I can look at my balance sheet by subsidiary too. And there is here the cumulative translation adjustment. That's actually a very, very important one because it allows me to define multiple subsidiaries currencies and then calculate the consolidation right away in my financial report. Another example now that I wanted to touch upon is the multi-book. So the multi-book also is very important. So I'm again here using the role of the controller, and in the role of the controller, I'm able to look into my dashboard as we've done before, right? And then what I'm going to do now is open the a financial report, and I could look into it based on the different books that I have configured in the system. So for instance, now let's start with the invoice. As you can see here, I have this invoice coming from that vendor, and then you could see here the subsidiary. Let's say here the subsidiary is South Africa, and then I have here my accounting book and what is a debit and credit. So you could see here the amount that was debited and credited in rands, and then I could look into local currency book, or maybe you could use as a USD book, for instance. So I can see the same amount being converted to dollars as well. So I could print that report now by balance sheet report showing me the rands and dollars for the very same company, right? So I could define this dual reporting currency using the multiple accounting books. And I could see here I'm selecting different books for different purpose. And then I could look as well into the other report as well here, where I could look into the India subsidiary, for instance. I was using only the book 2 here for that specific instance. And it could be as well for IFRS reporting, where we can do a chart of account mapping. So I don't need to post the invoice twice. I just post it once, and then it will automatically post in both books in different chart of account structure. All of that is possible using the NetSuite multi-book accounting. So without further ado, I wanted to touch upon the AI now and why the AI is important. And AI has a lot to bring in NetSuite. And the benefit of AI in NetSuite rely really on the suite. That is actually the different set of modules that you have all within the same database. But also you have the industry functionality, which is, as Bremner mentioned in the beginning about the Oracle restaurants operations. So you can have the industry functionality and all along with the platform and the Oracle OCI. So all these, when we build them together, we can put AI that can take benefits from all of those and giving me a lot of advise and assist functions. So it can help me uncover patterns, it can recommend actions, it can automate some workflows. So overall, it can increase your speed and accuracy. And let's see some examples. The first one is really about the closing. So when I do the month closing, I have AI helping me to do some supported workflows in order to uncover patterns and detect if there is anything missing. So let's have a look at this example here where I'm in month closing and I'm about to close the month, but I can see here some exceptions. There are actually 4 exceptions pending resolutions. They may be genuine exceptions or not. Let's see. So in this example here, as you can see, I have, so it is showing me here a case where I will pick here the example of the invoice. So it says that this invoice is incorrect. Do you have an incorrect amount for this invoice? So when I look into this invoice and I open it and I wanted to review it, so it's suggesting me to review the transaction. And then, yes, as I can see here, the quantity instead of 3, I entered 30, and that actually impacted the amount considerably. So that was actually a detection because of historical data. It was able to look into the typical invoice bills, but not only historical data. When it looks at all these amounts, it can detect that as well. That's another example of accruals that we usually do, and then it's suggested as well to enter the accruals in the system. So that was just some few examples here that we could look into. Another example as well, especially when it comes to expense reporting, you got here an example of an expense report. So let's say I'm on the branch and I have some bills that I need to enter in the system. So when I open this expense page, I can just use AI to help me book the expenses and code them and everything automatically. So here, for instance, I'm able to load my receipt or take a picture of the bill and just drag and drop it right there in NetSuite. So you can see the bill has a date, has an amount, has all those details, right? So you could drag and drop it here, and I could just upload and process. So it's just uploading, AI is interpreting the bill, and then it's just giving me here, yeah, that's obviously a meal, and it detected the currency, the dates, and everything, and it just entered all those numbers. So what I'm doing to do now is just load all these receipts at once, right? So I could just do a bunch, drag and drop, just like that. And then I could just upload them. And then you could see now that all those expenses has been automatically loaded. You can see I have parking, hotel, flight, and so on and so forth. It detected the currency. It took the today exchange rate, but giving you as well the chance to override it if you need to. So these are just a few examples of what AI can bring. Another example when it comes to reporting, I'm now in month end and I'm using NetSuite Analytics Warehouse, and I'm looking into my expenses now by a specific department. And then I'm picking now this G&A expense, and I wanted to understand the variance that I'm having between actual and budget. So you could see here that I can understand I have already some narrative explaining me when the variance has started and why this variance is happening. And I could also get some insights here and let AI as well suggest the different charts from the data I already have. So it's giving you here an example, and I could pick, for instance, this forecast. So this forecast actual spend, it can as well run algorithm to give me prediction, or I could also use here some user prompt here, and it can tell me, like, ask some questions and explain me the specific chart, where I could actually change the layout of this particular chart as well in order to get the one I need. And I could just decide to publish it as well in my dashboard as needed. Right. Another example about planning and budgeting, where it allows me here to do some look at historical data, and it could as well give me some insights about what is the difference between the forecast that the branch manager gave me and what AI is predicting based on historical data, based on market trend, as I can load the planning and budgeting module with machine learning data that could be, let's say, for example, market trend or something like that. And it could detect here and explain the difference between the two forecasts. And it could actually allow, you can actually decide to override the forecast and choose the one that was defined by AI. Another example as well, I will not take too much time on that one. This is amazing. You can now customize NetSuite with a simple prompt. So you could write here your prompt, say that create a Sweetlet that displays a welcome page showing the username and role. And then I could just run this, right? And then at the end, I want to open NetSuite and it's just showing me now the name and the role. This is very basic example, but with a prompt now, you can do a lot in NetSuite. You can customize NetSuite with a simple user like language, natural language. Another example as well is the NetSuite AI connector. So the NetSuite AI connector allows you to connect your LLM of your choice, like Claude or ChatGPT, and you can actually connect it to NetSuite. So once you connect it to NetSuite, you could actually interact with NetSuite using the natural language and prompt your data. So you could easily here ask ChatGPT or Claude to analyze your numbers, and then yeah, ask it to give you some analysis or anything like that. So it is running, discovering your NetSuite data, and then running all the prompts. And then at the end of the day, it's giving you here a nice illustrated dashboard that is giving you here an overview about your revenue, your gross profit, but also it can give you as well some recommendations and critical findings too. So what you could do next is that you could run this dashboard and analyze your data, or you could actually run an analysis as well with an additional prompt, like I'm doing here. Let's simulate, because marketing is putting pressure on my margin, let's simulate a 90% ROI and see whether this marketing spending is going to pay off or not. So it's running now my data, and then it's implementing that simulator. And in that simulator, it says that in 90% ROI of my marketing, that's actually how my revenue is going to look like. That's actually how my profitability margin trend is going to look like. That's actually my projection and stuff like that. So it's actually simulating that ROI at 90%. And then at the end of the day, it can even tell you whether this is a good investment or not. So it says here that at 90%, that's actually not a good investment on that campaign because it's not paying off and it's not giving you the revenue. So at the end of the day, you've been in loss. And then you could keep running, right? So you could play with the ROI here and you could make it at 120. And then it changes all the numbers here and giving you here a different set of results and different margin. And it says at the end that this marketing is actually worth doing. So that was just an example. Now another example here as well on the menu engineering dashboard, and that's we're touching a little bit on the industry focus. And with the menu engineering, I'm able here to run a dashboard that give AI narrative insights about what is going on with my menu in my restaurant. And you could see here, I can see that I have 10 stars, 13 pro horses, 0 puzzles, and 1 dog. And it could give you here how they're impacting your margin, and it's analyzing these things, right? Giving you the situation and the findings, and you could see here the chart that was generated by the AI, right? And it's also giving you here as well some brief analysis about those things here, right? And then I could as well look into my vendor spend analysis too, where I could look into where I'm spending, where my most of, especially the raw materials. So you could see here the different raw materials. I've been opening a restaurant, so that's why a new restaurant. That's why you can see construction companies quite high. But then I could exclude it, so I could look into all others. And also here in the dish level details, I could look into the stars and what margins are they making, what revenue are they making, how much they are costing, and what is the gross margin that I'm making per those stars. But also I can make an if I want to improve my gross margin, what do I need to do? So this is like a nice simulator, like we've seen with the marketing before. So here I could look into a simulation where I could see if I play with the Pro Horse and decrease it, how my margin is going to look like. I don't have any puzzles, so whatever change I do, nothing will happen, right? But then the dog have only one item, so the marginal impact will happen here. So I can, obviously, I should increase the stars in order to improve my margin, right? I got as well here an agent panel, and I have here like an example of a margin sentinel. This margin sentinel, if I run it, it will actually giving me an analysis of all the items and the dishes, and then it shows me as well here what should I do about it, what are the red flags, and what do I need to do about them. Do I have any cost optimization opportunity with this high volume dish? And then you could see it's creating some tasks in NetSuite and assign them to someone in order for the specific person to um, start working on it, right? So you've got the task, it got assigned with some notes, and then you could improve as well that further with the additional analysis and details. So that was just an example here of menu engineering. We've got in the next release of NetSuite, as some of you may ask and wonder about the new, whether we could just use the natural language to prompt our data in NetSuite, all internally without the need to use ChatGPT or LLM or any other LLM? The answer is yes, especially with NetSuite Next now. We've got the Ask Oracle. So the Ask Oracle now is allowing you to look any reports and then prompt as well here, use your prompt. And when you use your prompt, you could actually get your data you need here, and you can expand it, and you could as well ask some additional prompts as well. And here you can see you've got more flexibility to change your chart. Or you could put your own prompt as well, and it will, when you submit it, it will give you as well the results right away in NetSuite. So the good news here, it's all in all within NetSuite. So you don't have to worry about connecting or subscribing to a third-party LLM, as now you've got the AI now embedded in NetSuite, and it will not leave your Oracle servers to the LLM like ChatGPT or anything. So your data will stay within your own server in the cloud. So these are just a few examples here of the NetSuite Next. So I would like to conclude with this story of the, first of all, the brands that we have, examples of great brands here. I was surprised. I've seen Tasha's as well in South Africa. So we've got as well a lot of brands here that are using NetSuite as well for their operations. And I wanted to focus on Domino's Pizza, massive franchisee, and they had actually Sage, right? And they didn't have any unified system to track all the operations across. So each store was running its own systems and their own inventory application as well. So they were no centralized. So they were not able from the head office to see what is the current stock status across the board. They didn't have that visibility and luxury. They were reliant on the branch manager to send them daily inventory consumption and inventory status. So it was actually not giving them the visibility, no flexibility to adapt as they were growing, as they were having already 200 restaurants live at go live, and they needed to add more as they were opening new ones as they went. And so they actually moved to NetSuite, where they implemented financials, production, inventory, and all those modules of NetSuite, where they were able to do a comprehensive supply chain platform within NetSuite. They were able to implement the materials and cost analysis as well per restaurant. And they did as well some customization using Suite Cloud Development Platform too, in order to make some tweaks into their business requirements, especially this one, I think it was in China. So they had a lot of restrictions and a lot of constraints that they needed to adapt in order to operate there. So four things mainly change. So the one is first supply chain, where they were actually doing it all by hand. Now they had one platform, so they were able to manage the production, the distribution, the production, the procurement and shipping all together within the same platform. So they were able to have it all integrated. So they stopped using spreadsheets and to track consumptions from the meals they sold and stuff like that. So they were able to track their supply chain very well. They implemented quality control module where they were able to track the inspection of the raw materials they procured, as well as the marinations and the production quality. They were as well able to automate and streamline the store operations, and they were all connected to the head office. So they had great visibility as well in terms of material management and procurement. And finally, they had a great room to grow where they had multidimensional reporting built for rapid expansion, where they were actually operating 1,500 stores with NetSuite across 75 cities. So that's actually how NetSuite enabled them to do and how it could fit together. So this is the architecture that Bremner will talk on the Oracle NetSuite operations. But in order to give the floor to Bremner, I wanted to talk about the layers, that is the guest-facing layer and the operational system, where you have the POS or property management or Opera, online ordering, loyalty, or any delivery platform and aggregators. They all go to NetSuite through the integration layer. Okay, the integration layer can be a little bit, can make IT a little bit anxious But what I could tell you is that we've got now the REST API that enables you to do seamless integration and pre-built integration as well, especially when it comes to micros and PMS. So all this integration layer allows you to schedule the integration and also detect any potential mismatch or data issue so you could easily solve and fix. Then you've got the third layer, which is the NetSuite, as this is a single source of truth. You got in NetSuite your financials, your inventory, your restaurants, operations as well, the procurement and supply chain, the EPM, which is enterprise performance management, that is like planning and budgeting, fixed asset, HR and payroll. So you got it all within one system. And then when you get all the front office data coming in, so you can imagine the insights and AI that you could then run using Suite Analytics, Warehouse, or Narrative Insights, or you could use as well AI layer like Ask Oracle or the MCP connector that allows you to use a third-party LLM in order to get the data analysis that you want. So this was actually the last slide that I intended to present. As you could see here, as a summary, NetSuite is the solution to go for when it comes to streamlining the back office and getting all the financials and the closing streamlined, so you can actually focus on optimizing your margin and while having a great visibility across the cost element and the of working capital. So with this, I would like to thank you for your attention, and I'd like to let Bremner continue with the session. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Samir. That was great. I really appreciate just talking us through that. I think it's important to also just talk about the financial element of a restaurant, because a lot of people don't do. They always just worry about the inventory management and making sure the recipes are done and where's my stock and that. But I mean, the financials make sure that, I mean, all our restaurants are operational, that they're profitable, and also just seeing where the gaps are. So also having that AI front built into NetSuite itself, I mean, it's just phenomenal to see like how you can run your restaurant and that for you. Okay, cool. So from our side, thank you very much, Samir. From our side, I'm just going to just share my screen. Just let me know. Sorry. Let me just stop sharing here. Sorry. Audio. And just give me one seckie. Slide. Just give me a sec. Okay, let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. So I just want to quickly give a safe harbor statement from Oracle. This is just a general product direction from Oracle. This is purely from information purpose. There's still quite a bit of development on the product itself, and the releasing and timeline of this product will be the sole discretion of Oracle. So what it means in a nutshell is we have it launched already in America. They have started launching it now in the EMEA market. We're just waiting for it to come through into our area and that. So just that little bit of safe harbor statement just for you guys. So what is Onro? What is NetSuite? What is restaurant operations? So I'm just going to take it just one step back. So NetSuite isn't new. It's been around since 1998. It was accounting first, and it grew into ERP. And now has globally over 15 million entities running on over 43,000 brands. So NetSuite has been around for quite a while. NetSuite Restaurant is an additional module within the NetSuite architecture. Oracle NetSuite Restaurant Operations, Onro for short, has the following capabilities. It can do multi-location or single-location operations. It has inventory management and recipe management built into it. You can run procurement, you can do production, you can do scheduling, and you can do labor planning. What is also great in this new tool is you can also run quite a bit of AI in it as well. So it's got AI-driven analytics, and you can also prompt it to see where you can have some gaps in that in your business itself. Just some key capabilities, just talking about it again. So you can do your ordering through it, you can do your supplier management, you can do item forecasting, some recipe management, your menu item linking from the point of sale, You can do prep and production for those people that has a central kitchen. What is also nice in NetSuite restaurant operations is you have costing, cost centers, and within cost centers you have areas. And a cool feature also is you have shelves. You can have it's got built-in like scheduling, so you can do labor cost management, and it can also prompt within that bit of AI to see where gaps are based on forecasting. So yeah, so quite a all-encompassing solution within the restaurant space. But why upgrade from legacy? Why do we need to change? So firstly, obviously cloud-based. So for some of the people that's joined us here today, they're still using the old desktop-based version of inventory. This one is cloud-based. It'll scale with your business. It's got a third-party marketplace, which is Suite apps. So you can, if the restaurant operations can't fulfill that for you, you can link it with one of their third-party apps. They've got a modern API built into it. So there's open API, so you can link it with your own system if you want to via the API. It's got embedded AI. You can basically mold it towards your own business. It's multi-language and multi-currency. It's got an advanced analytics studio. It's very easy to do the data migration over through to that. And it's also got pre-built 350 reports and dashboards. So that's why. Why do you need to upgrade? That's the reason why. Talking through the point of sale, there's an API that runs between Symphony and Onro. It then creates your reporting where you have the actual versus budget. You've got your proper product mix. You can do your restaurant management in it, where you do your recipes. You can do your inventory management, procurement, and then your workforce management, as mentioned earlier. So let's take a little bit of a pause there. So with this, you can have your inventory management run in there as well. So you can track your ingredients. You can do your items across the locations. You can spot variances. You can manage recipes. And you can also automate alerts where you can say stock is low, and it'll prompt you on your dashboard to say, hey, you need to order these items on your dashboard. So it'll prompt and alert you. It's important to show you just the link between the two. Sorry, I know the slide is a little bit blurry. I had to take a little screen grab of it. But it just shows you the link between the point of sale and NetSuite restaurant operations. It's configurable by the Symphony price levels and order type. You can map different centers and designate a depletion cost center for you as well. So you can have multiple cost centers built into it as well. And you can say stock deplete only from this cost center. As mentioned earlier, it's a great little feature built into it as well. So within your cost center, you can have areas and shelves. I know that this is a great option for me. I mean, I've worked in the restaurants as well. When they say a cost center and you now have to go and count the Coke to go and look for the Coke, you're like, well, what shelf? It's that shelf over there. So it's nice to have that flexibility that you can build it towards your restaurant, not just say that there's a cost center in there for you. The wastage, it's a full integration between Symphony and NetSuite. So when you list your wastage in Symphony, it'll automatically pull through to NetSuite, and it'll show and track your wastage and usage within NetSuite. Procurement, this is a nice little way of running your operations in that. NetSuite will automatically notify you when to order items, as mentioned earlier. You can automate your order workflows, and you can even compare your supplier costings in there with you. You can also then set in there your preferred supplier based on cost or just on rankings in there for you. But a lot of people obviously in South Africa will say on cost because we're always cost sensitive. This is a very important slide to show our MC users today. This allows you to customize your approval process from basic to customize. Approvals can be tiered based on values. So you can say your restaurant manager order only until a certain value. And then from there, you can go to your regional manager or owner based on those values that you've preset built into NetSuite restaurant operations. Once you've placed the order, sorry, there's also another bit of a blurry slide. Apologies for that. Your suppliers can then receive the orders via email, SFTP, B2B, via the Oracle Business Network. You can even do a custom API through to your vendor. And then lastly, if you can't, then you can use one of our suite apps listed on the app marketplace. What that means is then as soon as it's approved, it'll auto-fire through to the supplier. So the best way is obviously via email. But I mean, if you want to do an API between you and your vendor, you're happy to do that. Then production, this is for your guys that have your central kitchen. This reminds you on what you need to prep and shows you what you need to build and how to track your production. You can see what production is active built into it, and you can also see what is current and what has been completed. So it'll notify you on your dashboard as you sign in to say, hey, you need to do this production right now. Then with the labor scheduling, you can manage your labor scheduling within Onro. You can also make use of AI, and it will flag you gaps based on your forecasting in real time. So what that means is that if you're saying, I'm going to increase my sales because there's a specific thing happening, like there's a show or there's an event happening, it'll tell you, listen, you need to have more staff based on that, built into Onro, which is quite cool. And then lastly, I just wanted to talk about AI. So it's built into the product. It's not bolted onto the product. You can prompt it. You can do prompt studios within it. So it'll tell you as soon as you say, how's my food cost looking for this specific item? It'll give you that accurate real-time information there. But I just want to show you a little video just based on that.
You can interact with Ask Oracle to instantly build a dashboard that shows your top food and beverage vendors by spend, whether costs are trending up by category, and which suppliers are driving variance against your budget, all from a single conversation. NetSuite creates a dynamic, interactive dashboard designed to surface the metrics that actually run your operation. Food cost by location, purchase spend by category, labor as a percentage of revenue, and more. Built on the spot, specific to what you ask for. This is what it means to collaborate with AI inside your restaurant system of record. No exports, no spreadsheets, no waiting for a report to be built by someone else. Just ask, and the answer is there. Real-time insights made specifically for your restaurant operation and ready to become part of how your team works every day.
Very, very, very cool. And if that doesn't work for you, you can do that external LLM, like Samir mentioned earlier, with ChatGPT, and also the Claude connectors via MCP, which that means is that you can link it in your dashboard on a Claude or a ChatGPT if you're not happy with the prompting within NetSuite itself. But that's all fun. Well, if we can do all of this AI and all this fanciness within NetSuite, but a lot of people are asking, how do you convert this information? So the great thing is they've actually built a tool for you to convert your current system over to NetSuite. This is for customers that uses materials control and inventory management from a Micros perspective. There's 13 lists in it where you can convert your items, your recipes, your vendors, your units, and it'll also flag you when you do the conversion for you in bulk, and you can auto-correct it in the tool in bulk before you do the conversion over to NetSuite. So I know that this is a lot of information, so I'm just going to pause it there and just ask, is there any questions with regards to Onro or NetSuite? Does anybody want to just unpack NetSuite itself? Have Samir, any questions for Samir? Questions? See that there's a couple of questions coming through. Any questions, guys, for Samir while we've got him here? Okay, if there's no any other questions, I just wanted to thank everybody and thank Samir for joining us on our day today. I will share a little bit of information from the webinar today with the video recording. And then, yeah, I'll reach out to you guys if you have any further questions with regards to it. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day further.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.